I recently went on a cruise with my husband to celebrate our 10th wedding anniversary. It was a much-needed break from our hectic lives back home. We'd been planning this trip for months and were really looking forward to it. Our two kids had just finished their exams, so they decided to stay at their grandparents' house while we took a well-deserved vacation. On the first day of our trip, I met a woman named Lucy who became one of my closest friends. She was staying in the cabin next door to us, and she was celebrating her 25th wedding anniversary with her husband, Tom. Lucy and I quickly hit it off, and we spent most of our time together. We went to the pool, the spa, and even did a couple's massage. We also went shopping and bought each other matching necklaces as souvenirs. While I was getting a pedicure, I took a lot of pictures of my new friend and posted them on Facebook with a caption that read, "New friend and new necklace." Little did I know that those seemingly innocent photos would cause quite a stir when my husband saw them. When my husband returned from the gym, he picked up my phone and started scrolling through my Facebook feed. His face darkened as he looked at the pictures of me and Lucy. He didn't say anything at first, but I could tell by his expression that he was upset. "Why have you taken these pictures? Why are you posting them online?" he asked, his voice tight with anger. I was taken aback by his reaction. "I just thought they were funny, honey. Besides, we've been friends for only a few hours. What's wrong with that?" "It looks like you're flirting with her, and I don't like it," he said, his eyes narrowed. "We were just being friendly. You know, like friends," I replied, trying to reason with him. "Don't play dumb with me, Maria. I know what flirting looks like, and that's exactly what you were doing in those pictures. If you're going to be disrespectful, then fine. But don't complain when I do the same thing," he snapped back. Confused and hurt, I asked, "What do you mean? What are you talking about?" He grabbed his stuff and stormed out of the room, leaving me sitting there in disbelief. I couldn't believe that he would accuse me of flirting when all I had done was take some silly pictures with a new friend. I decided not to make a fuss and let him cool down. After all, he must have just been tired, or maybe he wasn't feeling well. But as the evening wore on, my husband still hadn't come back to talk to me. I tried calling him, but he didn't answer. I was starting to get really worried, but then I remembered that he had mentioned earlier that he was going to the gym. Maybe he was just working out, I thought. So I decided to go to the gym myself to find him. As I walked into the weightlifting area, I spotted my husband on a bench pressing weights. I let out a sigh of relief, thinking that everything was going to be all right. But then I noticed something strange. He wasn't alone. Sitting on the bench next to him was Lucy, and they both looked like they were having a deep conversation. My heart sank as I realized that my husband had been spending a lot of time with Lucy behind my back. I felt betrayed and angry. Why hadn't he talked to me about his feelings earlier? And why was he confiding in Lucy instead of me? All those questions raced through my mind, and I couldn't help but feel a sense of dread. As if sensing my presence, my husband turned his head and caught sight of me standing in the doorway. His face immediately fell, and he tried to hide his phone under the bench. On the other hand, Lucy looked at me and offered a sweet smile, as if nothing had happened. My anger towards my husband grew, and I couldn't resist the urge to confront him. "Why haven't you been talking to me? You haven't even answered my calls," I asked, my voice trembling with suppressed emotions. My husband hesitated for a moment before replying. I just needed some space. That doesn't mean I don't love you," he stammered, clearly trying to come up with an excuse. "Oh, so this is just a coincidence that you're spending so much time with Lucy, huh?" I retorted, gesturing towards her with my finger. "Why did you spend the whole afternoon with her if you weren't trying to hide anything?" His face flushed red, and he looked away, unable to meet my gaze. At that moment, I knew that something was definitely going on between them, and it was clear that my husband was hiding something from me. Determined to get to the bottom of this, I asked Lucy directly, "Is there something going on between you and my husband? Please be honest with me." She looked at me in surprise and shook her head. What? No, of course not. Don't be ridiculous. I'm your friend, and I would never do anything to hurt you or your marriage, she said, her voice filled with concern. Although her words sounded sincere, I couldn't shake off the feeling that something was off. As I continued to investigate, I discovered more suspicious activity between my husband and Lucy. They were always seen together, and they seemed to be hiding something from me. To make matters worse, my husband became increasingly distant and secretive, which only fueled my suspicions. I couldn't understand why he had changed so much, and it was driving me crazy. The whole situation got even crazier when I found a hidden box in our cabin. It was small and inconspicuous, but I couldn't help but wonder what it contained. When I opened it, I found a pair of women's underwear and a necklace that I recognized as the same one that Lucy and I had bought as a friendship bracelet. My heart raced as I put the pieces of the puzzle together. It became clear to me that my husband was having an affair with Lucy. The thought of them together made me sick to my stomach, and I wanted to confront them. But before I could do anything, my husband came back to the cabin. He looked nervous and kept checking his phone every few minutes. I could tell that he was expecting me to confront him, but I wanted to be sure of my facts first. So I waited until he went to the bathroom before searching his phone. To my horror, I found explicit messages and pictures between him and Lucy. There was no denying it now. My husband was cheating on me with my own friend. I felt betrayed, angry, and heartbroken. I couldn't believe that someone I trusted would do this to me. I was so overwhelmed with emotions that I started crying. As soon as my husband came out of the bathroom, he saw me holding his phone with tears streaming down my face. He tried to grab it from me, but I pulled away. "Don't touch me," I said, my voice shaking. "I want a divorce," I added, unable to hold back my tears any longer. He looked at me in disbelief. "What? No, you can't mean that. I'm sorry, Maria. I didn't mean for things to get this far. I can explain," he pleaded, reaching out to touch me. But I stepped back, avoiding his touch. "Don't ever touch me again. Get out," I shouted, my voice echoing through the cabin. He looked at me for a moment, his face filled with regret and sadness, before finally turning around and walking away. As I watched him leave, I felt a sense of relief knowing that he was finally gone. I had never felt so much pain and betrayal in my life, but I knew that I had to move on. With the support of my family and friends, I was determined to heal and start a new chapter in my life. Now, looking back, I realized that it was one of the best things that could have happened to me. Even though it was incredibly difficult at the time, it forced me to grow and become stronger than I ever imagined possible. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe and give it a thumbs up. Thank you for watching.